Hello, everybody, and welcome to Save Our Dice. We are here for another episode of Fury, and hopefully the death of the whole party this time, judging by how the rolls have gone. So, we'll see how that goes. We do have our metal-armed friend back this week, so that's awesome. Hopefully he can save the day, or make it worse. We don't know. It's up to you guys. So let's go around, hear from our cast and crew, learn about our sponsors, and we'll figure out who gets the free bonus XP today. So we'll start with the returning Jordan. Who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
I am Jordan. You can find me here on YouTube, and I am playing Arri, who is a mechanical man of sorts, half machine, half man, all awesome, and that's who I'm playing this evening.
Half machine, half mechanic.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's jump over to KENI. Who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing tonight?
So I'm KENI. You can find me at twitch.tv/KENI Hill. I also have started doing some YouTube stuff. So if you click my name in chat, you'll see that. I'm playing Silica, who is half human, half slug. Not really half and half, but like she's got a slug issue. So we're dealing with that. But I'm very, very excited for tonight's episode.
Definitely pro slug.
Yeah, pro slug,
sure,
definitely.
For sure. Bill, let's jump over to you. Who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing tonight?
I'm Bill. I have a YouTube channel called Wyloch's Crafting Vids where I show you how to make really cheap terrain for your tabletop games with like cardboard and hot glue and stuff like that. I'm playing Wyloch, who is a nano with a fractured mind trying to figure out who and what he is. And is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Sweet. Let's hope for the best on that one. Last but not least, we'll jump over to Ted. Who are you? Where can we find you? Who are you playing tonight? And who are our sponsors?
Hey everybody, I am Ted, or Nerdarchist Ted of Nerdarchy. I will be playing Zariff, who is definitely anti-slug, and we'll see what winds up playing that out as this campaign continues. But I am of Nerdarchy, as I stated. We do RPG-related content over on YouTube, as well as our own site, nerdarchy.com. You can go check that out. Our sponsors for the duration of the campaign, we have Dungeon Painter Studios, pyromancers.com. If you want awesome maps that you can custom make yourself and be able to slide them right into your game, that is a great place to go. We also have returning Archania Workshop. If you want 3D printed materials, they got dungeon tiles, miniatures, terrain features, lots of great stuff. I own some of them myself. Go check them out and support our sponsors, please.
Sweet. And as always, guys, I am Mike from Gaming. You can find me here on Mondays and on my channel the rest of the week. And let's go over to our bonus XP winner. So, guys, a few weeks ago, we started a new thing where at the end of the episode, the cast gets to decide who among them deserves a bonus XP, and you guys watching the show get to write down in the comments who you believe is watching, who you believe is worth giving a free XP to. This week we have a tie.
Ooh.
We have a tie. We have a three-way tie between Silica and Wyloch. So
How's that a three-way tie?
did I say three-way tie? I meant three. I meant we have a two-way tie. You each have 3 points, and I was looking at the point scores. You have a regular tie.
I'm like, all right, we have a three-way tie between all three of us.
You have a bow tie. Okay, listen.
No, Mike gets the XP.
It's been a long day. So Arri, or Jordan, I know you listened to the show today, so I will let you determine who amongst Silica and Wyloch deserves that one bonus XP. Pressure's on. Welcome back.
I really like that you pushed the button, so I'm going to give it to Silica.
Done. Silica, you have an extra bonus XP to use as you see fit.
I'm now at 3.
And with that, let's jump into things. Previously on Fury. Getting a good look at the surroundings, Zariff's old instincts quickly kicked in, and he easily found several points of interest in the ruins of the underground city. The most important which, in his eyes, was a district bordered by 6 extravagantly designed towers, marking what he hoped would be a wealthier district containing ancient artifacts that may aid them in their harrowing journey. Exploring this district, Zariff, Silica, Arri, and Wyloch were treated to a most macabre scene as they traveled to the first tower. The streets were littered with the slightly blue-tinted corpses of dozens and dozens of humanoid creatures as they approached the tower. Confident in his direction, Zariff began searching the tower and instructed his allies to do the same. Wyloch used his strange ability to phase between realities and saw that each of the corpses they had passed had strange apparitions floating above them. Taking his eyes off them to pull an archaic piece of glass out of a nearby corpse for a moment, was all the time Silica needed to find and depress a small button beneath an ornate desk. Blaring klaxons flared to life, and when Wyloch looked back the bodies, he found that the spirits had disappeared and the corpses began to rise. So you guys have fled what you have decided was the wealthier district. You have run towards the northern district in hopes to enter this strange hole that Zariff had found, that Wyloch had a strange pull towards. And in doing so, you found a strange humanoid snake slug baby face monstrosity science experiment. And deftly defeated it, or less than deftly defeated it, and it exploded itself. One of those two things happened, whichever way you guys like to paint the story. So you guys are standing around the exploded corpse of this massive science experiment, gore everywhere. And Arri seems to have developed a new personality. He is back with us and can speak. So, what are you guys doing?
As sick as this sounds, should we investigate this creature?
Is it exploded? Like, or are there like little bits of it are all over the world, or is there a body, a husk that we can check out?
There's enough chunks that you can check it out. It seems to have wrapped its tendrils inside of itself and tore itself apart. So I'm sure you could scoop up enough pieces to get a good look at it, for sure.
Does anyone have like a vial or anything? Maybe we can get some acid from it. Might be useful.
You want to milk this thing?
You want a glass of exploded person?
He asks to the group at large. I ask back incredulously, excuse me?
Well, I'm just thinking of useful items, and we're not in the most useful of places at the moment.
Okay, he makes a really good point. That stuff was disgusting.
What?
Who has that the thermos with the tea?
I think we all have a
multiple
thermos.
people
You all should
have
have one.
thermoses.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone has an empty thermos.
No, I drank mine, so mine should
Yeah,
be.
all of ours should be drank at this point in time.
I believe so.
Well, I shared mine. I think I shared mine with Wyloch, so we
Yeah.
only have one thermos between us.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Yeah, everyone
But
but
if anyone
Wyloch,
has an
and
empty
everyone has an
one-
empty one.
How does it feel to have thermos envy?
Wow.
Must be a weird feeling.
Wow.
I wouldn't know.
Arri has a new personality, and it's sassy. Okay.
Yeah.
Like whatever spirit journey he went on, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Can I use my thermos, and I'm gonna like prop up the head that was spitting the poison and see if I can like shake some venom out? Like,
Yeah, roll me an intelligence.
I'm real bad at those.
Difficulty 4.
So, as he's just gonna shake the head, I'm gonna take a step back.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to
Like,
anywhere near that.
there's a way to approach a thing, but
And shaking it by the head is usually not it. So you luck out, and the Arri method works. You pick up the head, and it disconnects easily, right out of the body that it was in, and you send it, jostle it loose, hoping to scoop up some of the essence of this. And you hear a thunk as it hits your tube and drops to the ground. And at this thing, you see what looks to be a stone, or like maybe even a fruit pit. It's roughly the size of like a plum, right? And it is squishy to the touch and looks kind of like a brain. You have found the creature's venom sac.
Ooh,
So
okay.
you can milk that into the container or keep it as it is, but probably don't put it somewhere that you can squeeze easily.
Yeah, I think I'll just put the whole thing in my thermos, and then I know that it's contained, I guess, in case it'll eat through my thermos.
Sure.
So.
Yep. So you can sort of poke that in there, and you now have a something's venom sac.
Yeah.
So Arri, I would make a mental note not to drink from that, just in case it hadn't occurred to you.
Yeah. Oh no, we're got the same, simpatico.
Write that down.
Yeah,
Don't
words.
Drink from thermos. Thank you.
I write down on my little Arri notebook that I pull out. Do not drink venom sac.
Not a plum. So you guys are standing amongst the ruins. There are shattered buildings and refuse and debris and just detritus all around. The exploded corpse of this thing sans venom sac, and you guys are headed north. So are you guys taking off from here? Or are you guys kind of hanging out for a little bit to recover, or what are you guys doing?
How does any of you feel about taking 10?
I don't like the idea that we were attacked by this thing seemingly at random. So,
well, we could move off a little bit, but
Oh, are you hurting? Are you like?
I'm not about to drop or anything like that. But I've been applying myself with some of our adventures down here, and I could do with a little bit of stretching.
I could do with an hour.
Okay. I need to exert myself more, apparently, because I'm just like, la-di-da. All right.
So you guys are taking 10 minutes or an hour?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the question.
Can we do an hour? I've done my 10.
I mean, I won't stop you.
Like I said, if we can find a place, short ways away from here that we can
Like a building
reasonably
to hold up
secure.
in, or-
Yeah. And then I got no problem saying let's do the hour if that'll make Wyloch happy.
All right.
Sure.
All right.
So I leave it to you, Zariff. Where do you go? How do you find a suitable, place to bunker down for an hour? Right now, you are fairly exposed.
So, I mean, the obvious thing would be to continue along our path until an opportunity presents itself.
Okay. In that case, roll me a searching 4.
Yeah, I don't want to potentially like rest in something's
I
nest.
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Do I get an asset for having had a top-down view and looked at our course of action previously?
Sure.
Excellent.
Kenny, are you saying that you have a problem with egg chambers and houses of creatures that you?
No, I mean, not in general, but I am like highly prejudiced against nests that are not my own.
Okay, cool. Nests that are not your own.
Whoa!
You guys heard it here first. Silica is a worm person.
Because Silica's happy to comply.
Yeah,
Very happy.
It's easier to comply.
So I forgot to put the asset in, but apparently it didn't make a difference.
No, apparently you killed it.
The dice gods are being nice to me.
Yeah, that's the one you get tonight. The rest is once. Everything else is once. Cursed! No! Okay, cool. So you guys continue traveling north. And you find, Zariff, you know that you saw a few good structures here from the aerial view. Whether they have like holes in the sides, you're not entirely sure, but you saw some sturdy structures here, smaller, squat, less of like a high rise rather. And it's about an hour in that you find one of these. So it puts you a good distance from wherever this thing's possible hunting ground was, but and as it gives you enough time and distance, and you find a small, for lack of better words, a house. In fact, when you go to like scout this out, which I assume you do with that nat 20, you kind of scout it out ahead of everybody, and it looks like it was lived in more recently than the rest of the city. However, that recently is probably like within the last few years it was lived in, and it hasn't been touched since then. But somebody is definitely staying here, so it's at least protective enough for that.
Excellent. So I will report that information to the group, and it looks safe, looks sturdy. I mean, we're not looking to sleep overnight. We're looking to get an hour out of it.
Yep. It looks sturdy enough to sleep overnight if you needed to. So yeah, you guys see the same thing. It's a squat hovel. It seems to have been made of pieces of detritus around here, not an actual house itself, but the walls are sturdy and shored up with metal. It looks like this was built, obviously after the collapse of whatever the city was, long enough time ago for there to be some wear and tear. But you guys can get easily in. There's several rooms in this place. It looks like someone made it into as much of a home as they could, you know, whether they stumbled down here and got lost or, you know, by some other means. But there is a door you can kind of wrench open and sort of push back in, a very sturdy stone piece of slab that I assume Arri can kind of move. There appears to be like a almost living room kind of area, and a separated room that looks to be a bed chamber with a, you know, mottled pieces of like cloth that seems to be like almost like a rat nest of a bed.
Oh, how quaint.
Yeah, you know, you gotta make it homey, you know, that's half the battle. But you see that there are like random pieces of what could, like, it's like a large metal tray. There's like implements that look like they have been used as utensils. There's like, you see like scratch marks carved in the walls. No legible text, but it looks like they were indicating some manner of time passage or something of the kind. So yeah, you guys can easily get in here. What are you doing on your hour-long rest, for those of you that are taking it?
My plan is I have an action rest and a 10-minute rest. So I was going to take those, and then I was going to search the dwelling to see if I could find something of value.
Okay, go for it. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm gonna keep watch. Is there like a window I can kind of scope out the road and things like that?
Yes, there absolutely is, and you can do so. So yeah, there are several, not so much windows, right? But they look like to be not quite drilled, but there's some kind of hole that's maybe the size, maybe it's maybe like 2 inches in diameter, a hole, and they're around the top, about 5 feet off the ground, and you can see them like there's like a series of 3, and then there'll be a space, and then another series of 3, and they seem to go around the length of the house, almost as if like tiny portholes to look out of. So you may do that. Wyloch and Silica, what are you guys doing?
I only needed an action recovery, so I want to spend the rest of the time probably just studying what all is in the house, just seeing what I can find. I'm not super enchanted with this hovel, but it is the only shred of hospitality we might see in this place, so...
I mean, it looks super nice. You can make a home here.
I rolled really well on my recovery, so apparently the closing the door and taking just that moment, like, I feel real good.
Yeah,
so I'm like, you know what?
A huge weight's been lifted.
I'm like, all right, I feel secure. I don't really need, you know, I just take a second to shake it. I'm like, all right, let's start searching.
Perfect. And Wyloch, you need the most time to recover, but in that recovery time, what are you doing?
I'm taking stock of it as soon as we walk in, and I'm still in full like treasure hunting mode. This place should be a smorgasbord to me. So
sure,
I'm seeing if anyone left any Numenera in this hovel. So I want to sense magic.
Absolutely. So everyone, roll me intellect 4. It can be searching. It can be Numenera, and you get an asset for sense magic. Go nuts.
The Glaives are like, whatever.
Good start. Yeah. This is a house, in fact.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
There's some holes in the walls, guys.
I wonder if I can look out of these holes.
About 2 inches in diameter.
And there's a space between them, and then 3 more.
There's a space between them, and then there's like, yeah, real observant.
All right, so Wyloch, you roll your recovery rolls, and when you get a chance, roll that searching roll. Oh no, you did. You succeeded. Okay. And you can spend up to, you've already spent your action and your 10-minute one, right?
I had, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you regain those 6, spend it as you need. So Wyloch, you look around and you kind of, you know, do your out of focus thing and get real strange realities in. And there is, in fact, no Numenera technology in here, but you do still feel that tug towards the north.
Okay, the beacon is still there.
The beacon is still there, yep, if not stronger now that you are closer. And you don't sense anything in the immediate surroundings, so there's not like some kind of robot coming to attack you or anything like that. Not that there would be. And in the meantime, Zariff, you quickly recover, feel incredibly rejuvenated and safe as all get out in this place. So you begin tearing it apart. This looks, like I said, it looks like it's well lived in. Someone stayed here for a while. And you find, the most important thing you find is underneath the rat's nest of a bed is a tattered journal.
Nice.
In said journal, you find this strange text here. Go to everyone. You see this strange sequence, which has absolutely no meaning to you whatsoever. So that's the first thing you see. You also see what looks to be the scratchings of a madman. You see that there is like bits and like phrases and clips and verses and prose, all speaking of an ancient tomb that lies beneath. It speaks of a queen. It speaks of a beast slash god named Arri. He is referred to as a necromancer or a god of the dead. You're not entirely sure which of the two it is, but it speaks back and forth of both of them. This crazy person believes that there is a tomb here, and that he is searching for it.
What was that last bit?
He believes that there's a tomb here, and he is searching for it.
Okay. So my first and foremost question is, does the term necromancer, like, is that in my vernacular, or is that it's a flippity gibbet?
Yeah.
I mean,
it is.
We had talked last session that, like, are seeing dead things a normal thing? And it's like, in Numenera, no, that's not a normal thing. Now we have, and now we're that crazy, somebody who's seen them.
Yeah.
But
so in the way that it's used, it's not. So put it this way: it's not an unknown word to you. It's just a very uncommon word, and the way it's used, this refers to like a legendary figure, right? So like that's where it makes slightly more sense. Now that you've seen the undead, it makes hits a little bit closer to home that it might be actually a real thing and less of a Hercules was a guy who could lift giant fucking boulders and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So it's a little bit different than the legend or the myths that you may have heard or stumbled upon. Now it hits a little bit closer to home. But he is also, it's like necromancer and god of the dead is used interchangeably throughout this. So that'll give you like what level of mysticism this guy is referring to this person as. Whether he believes him to be a true necromancer or not is, it's up to him wherever he might be. But yeah, so, he speaks of a tomb that belongs to a queen that he believes to be somewhere in this city.
It's in the city, or
that's what you
below the city?
It is the tomb below, inside the city.
To clarify, we're looking for the impossible blade.
That is true.
And we believe Wyloch's tug at Numenera stuff is leading us in that direction.
You don't. You believe that Wyloch has a tug to the north about Numenera, and that's all he has. And it's the best. It's the best lead you guys have.
We are hoping that it's leading us, in the right direction.
To your doom, for sure.
To not death.
Mm-hmm.
To not. I would settle for to not death.
Yeah. It's definitely leading you towards story.
Unless it's
good or bad, you don't know.
You don't have a problem with your death as long as it's protecting the clutch.
Yeah.
No.
Totally fine.
Because like slug consciousness and silica consciousness have now kind of untwined from each other. Silica consciousness does not want to die.
He's probably fine with that.
So, is there anything else in here besides said book?
That is the only thing of worth you find. You can find there's old, tattered, and frayed rope. There are pieces of metal that you can surmise were used as forks and knives. So you can find basically household items, but there's no Numenera in here, and there don't appear to be any shins in here as well.
And obviously, if it's been abandoned for years, there's no food to be had.
Correct.
I would like to search for one last thing specifically.
Okay.
Is any sort of family insignia, and whether or not it would be something I would recognize.
Yes.
Okay.
Roll me searching or intelligence, but it's going to be difficulty 5.
That's great. Do I have any sort of help because Zeref already found the journal? and that journal may contain, I don't know, I'm reaching.
No, don't undo yourself.
Right. So Zeref has found this journal. People put things in journals.
They do.
Like names and family insignias. And
you know what? I'll give you an asset for it.
Yes. Okay.
We'll see what happens.
And nope.
Yeah.
Not that I would have remembered if I saw it,
You do
but
not.
you know.
All right. So how quickly did I find this book?
You know what? Wait, hold on. You rolled an 8. You needed. No, even if I give you an asset for Zariff, you still would not have found it.
No,
Unfortunately, you needed 1 more point. So what was that? I'm sorry, Zariff. What were you saying?
So how quickly did I find this journal?
Relatively quickly. Maybe it took you 30 minutes to kind of toss the house. It's really only like 1 larger room and then 1 partitioned smaller bedroom.
All right, so that gives me a half hour. I want to read through this. Like you said, it's a thin journal, right?
Yeah, I mean it's maybe like an inch thick, the whole thing, and only maybe half of it has writing in it.
So I wanna like really start getting this in my head. Like, maybe this is going to provide a useful clue, but I will absolutely keep it with.
Okay, so you're going to spend the remaining time just going in on this book.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you find what you believe to be. You see 2 names, right? One of the 2 of them you assume to be the owner of the book, the way it's spoken of, but it goes in and out of first and third party. So you find the 2 names Evander and Gerrid. No gender assignment to either one of them, so you're not sure which is which. But apparently these 2 people were in love. And that's kind of what you find in this journal at the start of it, and then it kind of delves deeper and deeper into more of a first person account, searching for the means to bring someone back to life. Hence the searching for the god of death and a necromancer, as you have inferred that one of Evander or Gerrid has died. And the other is in mourning of said thing. He believes that the Queen's Pit, or the Queen's Tomb, is something that he can use to revive his love, and that he believes it is in a strange island that doesn't exist. And that's pretty much what you get out of this, apart from that strange number.
Say that last part again.
He believes that the tomb is in an island that does not exist.
Bum bum bum.
Everyone furiously scribbles notes.
Yep. I don't know why I bother, because I'm not going to remember them anyways.
Kenny will remember. Silica won't.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Oh man.
I just have to role play a reason to remember.
All right. After reading that, this hasty written note with a bunch of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that listed?
It was a separate piece of paper, folded 3 times and slid in the middle of the book.
All right. Is it reaching to say that I've got, a quill and ink?
Yeah, sure. You have some kind of writing implement, yeah.
I want to write that number in the book, just in case something happens to that sheet of parchment.
You sound suspicious.
No, I'm practiced.
Okay. Very clear difference. Yeah, I totally get it.
Zariff is here because he's an expert at these kind of crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly his precautions and idiosyncrasies have some kind of merit to the kingdom. So for the next, few minutes after I do that, it's like, all right, 1 2 1 3 2 2 1 1 2 3 4. He starts getting that number in his head.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, cool. That's what you do for the next hour or so, or for the next 30 minutes or so, while Wyloch You look like you have something to do. Are you napping? Wyloch's napping. Great.
I think he's sleeping. I'm not like actually sure. I just noticed,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know if he's like doing a weird
Perfect.
Wyloch thing or if
Yep.
he's sleeping.
Both.
Sleeping.
Column A, column B.
For all we
Silica,
know, he could be out of phase.
yeah. Silica, you are
On
tossing
that.
the house, trying to find some kind of symbology for this guy. Arri is staring at the wall portion of the holes, and he's doing great at it. And Wyloch is recovering and channeling his inner Wyloch. So your hour passes. You guys are slightly the wiser, and you are ready to reinvigorate on your journey. So is that what you guys do?
Yeah, it seems like we've exhausted our house options.
I mean, you could just stay here. It's totally fine. You can live your days out here. I'm sure you can
You know,
find
I don't.
more man
like-
corpse food.
You mean the next 4 weeks? Like,
Yeah.
we'll run out of food and then we'll starve. Like,
I mean, you could eat the scorpion man baby.
I'm not gonna eat the scorpion man, baby.
It's a giant 70-foot snake you could eat. Probably.
No, I believe we'd have to kill it before we could eat it. And-
Good luck getting past me, because I assume that my devotion extends to protecting.
It doesn't.
Giants.
It's just the eggs. Just the eggs. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And you know, there's a whole building full of eggs you could easily go eat.
Okay, now see that's also a problem. Stop with this. Okay, so we want to push forward and continue northward with Wyloch as our dousing rod sort of
Yeah, I was
situation.
about to say.
So, dowsing.
What if it's and I wake up from a really bad dream and inadvertently cast hedge magic? So like if you were looking and it's a huge burst of light, anyone outside the hovel would see like beams of nova coming out of it briefly.
Oh, great.
Sorry about
So
that.
even stronger impetus to get out of here now that we've given away our position. Wyloch.
Perfect.
Fabulous.
Amazing.
Why must you do this?
Do what?
You just gave away where we are.
Ari's really sad he was inside the building because he thinks that probably looked really badass from outside the building with all those holes.
It's a human disco ball.
Yeah.
Right, so I know nothing of what Zeref found, right? I was
I
sleeping.
mean, unless he tells you.
Correct. Well, the first thing I'm going to do after I, shake my head at you giving away our position, we're gonna start beating feet because now all the monsters know where we are. But while we're walking, I want to hand the tattered scrap to Wyloch and have him look at this number combination and see if it means anything to him.
Can do. So I try and make sense of it.
It doesn't. It is a random sequence of string of numbers that you have no frame of reference to see what it means. As far just by looking at it, you can tell that like even in your most lucid state, this just seems to be a random string of numbers. There's no context for what it could mean. It's not like a Fibonacci's code or any other mathematical sequencing that you might know in one of your 9 realities. But it has to mean something, or why would someone write it down, right? That's kind of what you've attuned to it. It must mean something or represent something that this guy found.
So I hand it back to Zeref and straight up Westworld. This doesn't look like anything to me.
Yeah, I'm certain it's something, and everything that we have keeps linking back to that symbol. So I want to, as we're prone to do, I reach over and grab Ari's cloak off his shoulder, and I want to look at the at the symbol and try to see if there's any way to do anything with these numbers and that symbol. Yeah, we got
Perfect.
this. There's 13 numbers and there's 8 little boxes around this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say, boxes and space in between, that's 15. That doesn't line up with 13 numbers. So
while he's playing math puzzles and
Mhm.
we're hoofing it out of here, I'm keeping my eyes out for, since Zeref's apparently not these things lurking in the shadows. I would very much not be ambushed by another scorpion man baby
Mhm,
creature,
mhm.
because I highly disliked the last one.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry. If we encounter anything, it won't be a scorpion man baby. It'll be some other horrific beast that Mike's got for us.
Yeah.
Fine, any of its kin.
I actually have
Any
a
of Davola's experiments.
I have a Pinterest board that's just called Kenny's Nightmares, and I just grab pictures from that.
So great.
If you ever see your dream catchers go missing, it's because I've stolen them and I've harvested them for ideas on how to torture you in game. So
he's actually been put up to it by your husband. So
No, that would make more sense.
he screenshots it. He takes a picture and sends them to me. Like, try this. Last night she screamed about spiders. I'm like, spiders, got it. So it had too many legs, she said. Too many legs, done. So roll me a intelligence difficulty 4 to scout around. Zariff, you are jostling the not so reluctant at this point anymore, Arri, I guess, to attempt to look at his arm and compare it to the symbols. And as you, Ted, struggle with the comparison, so does Zariff. This doesn't seem to make any sense. Even trying to assign meaning to it, as you said, 15 versus 13, numbers and spaces. Some of the doors line, some of the boxes line up with the numbers, but then sometimes you'll see like a 1 where a space should be. So that doesn't track. So you try to solve this math puzzle, but it seems to be of no avail. In the meantime, Silica, you have a fine day.
Yep, great day. Everything is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a part of the team.
Yep. Thank goodness for that.
So Arri, have you just grown used to, like, what's going to happen when you go back to town and no one jostles you anymore? I mean, if you go back to town.
I'm very resolved to the fact now that I'm just an object to my friends. Yeah. And when I go back to town, it's probably going to be one of those like where I miss it. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, now I've equated my worth to being jostled around.
Yeah. You're going to be a weird guy now that just like throws his cape off and then picks it back up and puts it back on. Yeah. Look at this. And everyone at the bar is like, put your shirt back on. Weirdo. So you guys continue walking. Silica is scouting ahead. Arri, while you're being jostled, and Wyloch, while the jostling is happening, what are the two of you doing on your journey northward?
It takes all my focus to stay trained on that bit of Numenera, that beacon out there. And I'm just I'm actually walking one way, but I'm constantly looking 45 degrees to the left for no particular reason.
Just sort of off to the side? Yeah,
even though I'm going, walking straight.
I like it. I like it just because it will throw Silica off and make her look in that direction too. She thinks you have seen something. Arri, what are you doing while being jostled?
Arri is really thinking about these numbers. He's really curious about them. And he's trying to find some kind of reason with the numbers, even though he can't. So he's looking at them. He's like, okay, it starts with a 1. Well, 1 is the loneliest number. Okay. And then it's followed by a 2. And 2 can be just as bad as 1. And then there's another 1, which is also lonely, but then it's followed by 3. And he knows for a fact that 3 is the magic number.
And if it's not the magic number, it's at least company. So,
and then he kind of gets lost after that, but he's really.
But later on, we find out there's a 4, and 4 is a crowd.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
3's company too. That's in my head for the rest of the year. Great. Thanks.
Well, you brought that on yourself, sir.
Yeah, I did. You're right. So
so he's kind of lost in space, like thinking about these numbers, not really figuring anything out. But he's got his hammer at his side because we just ran into a big monster, so he's cautious.
Cool. I like it. So you guys continue northward, puzzling, tracking, etc.
All right. So I don't know how long we've been walking, but a quick glance at the thing, looking at these numbers, 5 minutes and really not getting anywhere. I will, see the slightly scowled face of Silica of like, oh yeah, I should be doing something. So I kind of.
No, I've got it. It's fine. Everything is fine. Nothing's out there. I haven't seen anything.
She hasn't. It's true.
It's very true.
Everything looks great from her perspective. There's no monsters anywhere. In fact, she's seen even less monsters than before because you guys scared that last one off, obviously.
We have made our show of dominance in this area.
Now everything's afraid of you. It makes total sense.
Yep.
So are you trying to scout ahead as well, or scout out as well as you?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Okay. You can roll for me searching 4. Intellect 4.
Woohoo!
Cool. And as I transition 30 seconds too soon to the next scene, you are met with something that looks vaguely like that, but I can't always find the exact pictures that I want. You get closer and closer in your search. You don't actually see anything. It's almost as if Silica was correct. In fact, the closer you get towards that cog indentation or that cog, crenulation, where the hole is, you hear less and less. There's less like din of noises. It just sort of has this like, as if you put your hands over your ears. It's just quiet. You see nothing moving around. And despite you guys crunching on the ground, you actually hear less and less of that. And what you approach is the crenulation of this cog shape that juts out. And has a hole cut in it, and you also see that the hole completes a circle on the ground, as if a sphere was removed from this area, and the hole on the ground leads down.
And do I sense that what I'm looking for is down there?
You do.
Okay.
In fact, you sense. You know what? Roll me a Numenera 4.
So you're saying it looks like a sphere has been removed?
Yeah, so like, the best way to explain this, right? So so the whole platform you guys are on, right? The whole city looks like you took a cog out of a machine. So it has that same cog figure. Now imagine if you had like a sphere of annihilation, and it's a perfect sphere. Like the hole in the edge of the crenulation is spherical, and it continues to the ground as if a sphere was removed from here. Like the ground cuts in and then it continues up to where the wall is, and it forms a complete circle. Does that make sense?
Kind of. It's not like cut in half though, right? It's not like
no.
half
So like here's the ground, here's the wall. There's like a scoop taken out of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That makes no sense.
So it's like completely smooth in transition between cog and wall.
Yes.
So my first instinct is there dust in the bowl? There
is. In fact, as you look at the bowl has a giant hole, as if it was bored in the center that just continues down. Yep, while like you sense it's still in that downward direction, you don't get much else out of it. And Zariff, you do notice that on the opposite end of this hole, and this hole is large. It's probably like a good 150 feet across. You kind of got to walk around the outskirts before you hit that crenulation of the wall.
How big is the sphere of annihilation? We're talking.
So it doesn't. So it's gone, right? So it's basically a cut hole.
I'm just talking like how big is the bowl if the hole inside it is 100 feet across?
So the bowl around this thing extends probably from one end to the other. It's about 200 feet.
Okay, so half of it is been bored out. Is the hole as smooth as the bowl?
Yes.
I know of any devices or something that would do this because of my mining background and things like that? Like,
roll me an intelligence 4 with an asset.
Let's open my character sheet because I closed it. Intelligence with an asset, you said?
Yep, intelligence 4 with an asset.
Good thinking. Like this.
Yeah.
So you do, obviously there yeah, there are explosive devices that you've seen, blow out holes in mines to clear things. You've had experience with like synth metals or synth woods or synth ores that exist from previous ages that don't respond to normal explosives. There are small scale chemical reactions you've seen people use to bore further through things, and occasionally, if you're lucky, an Aeon priest makes his way to Omar and has a device that can clear things out. But even then, it's on a very small, think like a grenade's impact, right? It's a very small radius as opposed to this massive missing chunk of something. But you do know things that can do and have similar effects, maybe not as smooth, but you've seen, this is not a foreign concept, just something on this massive scale you've never seen.
Surprising, yeah. Okay. I relay that information too.
Yeah, I'm a bit puzzled as to what kind of thing could or would cause this. I would just say that we need to be extra cautious.
I think this something like this was made to either hide something. We're going to bury it deep, but they would have covered it up if they were going to hide it. So it almost feels like they tried to take something from below.
Unless they were interrupted.
True.
Anyone who's looking around this area, roll me intelligence for searching.
Hard to miss. How would we not be looking around? Hey.
Who knows?
Whoa.
Unless you're Wyloch and you're just like space land. Whoa. Never mind. Wyloch is definitely not in space land. I lied.
Good job, Wyloch.
Wah, wah. I'm really interested in this, like, this hole.
Arri, you are hell-bent on figuring out what kind of device could make this.
Yeah.
You're doing mathematical equations in your head. If you maybe tied three of the devices together and then threw them in, maybe that would just that makes it 3 times as big.
Exactly. Yeah.
The rest of you see that across the gap of this this orb, this missing orb, and the subsequent hole, there is what looks to be a rope and ladder or a staircase system on the opposite end of it from where you guys stand. Wyloch, you, through whatever phasing in and out you are in, you see that not only is there a rope ladder / stairway walking, leading down into the hole, you can actually kind of tune in, and whatever contrast you twisted knobs, you see that the staircase spirals down inside, and it goes down maybe 100 or so feet, and you actually see what looks to be a small cutout, like a door.
There. That's what we need is down there. Let's go.
And I just think it's just pitch black down there probably to me. So I'm just
Yeah.
sort of like, okay.
Because it's dark in the
Wyloch
city.
says goes.
Yeah, so it's dark in the city right now. Like, you guys
Yeah.
are using either Wyloch's, glowing hand or a glow globe that you guys have kind of just flitted about, and those only extend maybe like 20 feet. So even if you kind of press it in and kind of hover it down, it's not going to extend far enough. But whatever weirdness Wyloch was doing, he kind of had an extra bit of perception there.
All right, so down we go.
Rolling in the deep. Let's do it. Sorry. I thought we were doing a thing this episode. No, are we not doing a thing this episode? Okay.
Not with her.
All right. My bad.
So you guys skirt the edge of this massive hole, and begin to descend down into the depths below. As I take on a deep, ominous tone of voice, things more dramatic. So you guys walk down this staircase. It appears to be wood, if not some kind of synth wood, and it is just sort of punched into the side of this thing. It is the only non-smooth part of this, and there is an aged rope sort of leading down as a almost stanchion, preventing you guys from falling over. But you're pretty sure that if you lean on it or look at it funny, it's just going to snap. Every step you take, every move you make,
every breath you take,
as you walk down this.
So we are doing a thing.
Now we're doing a thing. Demonetized. As you walk down the staircase, it just creaks and moans as every step threatens to fall out from underneath you, until you guys make your way down what amounts to about 80 feet, and you see that there is a hole indeed in the wall. What are you guys doing? It's just running right in there.
I'm totally
There's
drawn
not
to
a
it.
door?
I never even stopped.
Nope, just a hole.
Just a hole?
like as
And
in
Wyloch just went in it, it sounds like. He didn't even break stride. He just goes.
Yeah, I like it. That's
All
what
right,
I
well,
like.
There's a glint somewhere in the darkness that I'm on.
so I was assuming, in these cases, I'm going first. So Wyloch just brushes past me as I'm about to be like, all right, let's take a look in here and see what we can see. And Wyloch is,
And he's already inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this hallway is less smooth than the actual wall itself, as if it was carved in here. It still looks very nice. And as you walk down, it stretches for about 100 feet, and you have some kind of, cantrip up there giving some light, I would assume. But the walls are covered in paintings, faded, chipped paintings that you can barely make out, bas reliefs. There is like tattered, you're not sure if it's clothing, tapestries maybe, or something, but there's ornate stuff all over the place, whether fallen to pieces and dust on the floor, or, in there in chips and pieces. The walls where there aren't bas reliefs or paintings, there's covered in tiles.
All artwork?
It appears to be all artwork, either affixed to or part of the wall itself. And the floor is made of ceramic, maybe? Tiles? Some kind of tile, and they're colorful. You can see them reflecting in the lights that you guys are providing. Yeah. Everything is filthy with age.
Like, oh yeah, this is my jam. Like this atmosphere is comfortable.
Mm-hmm. You see that there are... there's like debris and filth and like dust and collected things as you begin to walk down. And as you get towards the end, or what you perceive to be the end of this tunnel, you see that on either side of you, probably the least aged, maybe because of the depth of the tunnel, bas reliefs are ornately painted, and like some of the painting is chipped, but they appear to be mirror images of a woman in full... Silica would have to confirm, but probably full royal regalia, looking very, fashionable and amazing, and in.
And they're mirroring each other. Are they facing in, facing us?
They are facing each other, so in, yes.
All right. And there's a tunnel beyond.
There is. It continues. This is the last thing you see before the tunnel kind of continues and takes a bit of a dip.
I would like to confirm the regalia that this queen is in, and if it is something that I would, again, prep school history upbringing, if I could pull from the dusty.
Don't touch.
No touching. Just looking. Eyes only. Absolutely.
Intellect 4 with 1 asset.
To me, this kind of reminds me of different tombs and stuff that I've kind of gone through before. And when you've got statuettes facing each other, to me, this just screams trap. Mm-hmm. So I wanna investigate the floor, see if there's anything that looks like they shift and move about, see like if there's like, oh, can I get a glance and see like, oh, are their mouths open and it looks like it goes down into some kind of cavity that can spout flame or some kind of whatever have you.
What? Roll searching for. So Silica, you approach the bas relief here. You see a whole lot. So you see that the large statuesque woman in full regalia is in fact very fancy regalia. The first thing that catches you off guard entirely and almost distracts you from the rest of the pictures is the fact that what you can make of the chipped paint that is on her matches not exactly your house colors, but house colors of the region in which you are from.
Okay. So whatever banner they're flying, the colors at least are very similar.
Yes. Yeah, the symbology is too faded to make out, but you can see chips and chunks of the color that remains.
Or sorry, I think that's a standard is the word I'm actually looking for. Familiar standard colors. Okay. I mean, whatever, Silica doesn't know.
And you look behind, it kind of distracts you for a second, but that's that second that you kind of pull away from the what's inside me puzzle, right? And you look, and you can see there is actually something in the background. And that is the difference between these two mirrored images. The background is different on the two of them. One of them is this, it looks to be people on bended knee surrounding what looks to be a massive throne. And kneeling in front of the throne appears to be several people in what you would guess to be armor. You're not entirely sure with how it's cracked and faded, but they seem to be larger body than the other people that are kneeling. It's almost like you would equate this to like slaves or serfs kneeling before their queen and warriors or knights or something along those lines, right? Um, On the other side, you see there is a procession almost, and whereas the throne itself was on those poles you kind of lift up and bring through a city, there is a large ornate box on one of these that you would bring through a city, and you can see that it ends with the queen, or who I guess you would assume is the queen, descending in a shaft of light that has like the paint and chips has faded, and beneath the shaft of light is this creature watching her descend. The creature looks to be insectoid, but that's also hard to tell. It has 4 arms and a tail, but that's difficult to tell, with the cracked and fadedness of this bas-relief.
Tail or thorax?
Your guess is as good as yours.
Okay.
Biology. I don't know if I'm remembering that far, but I do point out the differences to the other party members. Just like, that's weird.
It is weird, right?
It is very weird. I probably keep the banner color, the standard similarities between the region I'm from, and that I'd probably hang on to that information for myself for a while.
You also notice, most likely because, Zariff was worried about the threat of explosion or gouts of fire or acid arrows or any...
Don't touch.
Yeah. You do notice, because of his panic as he's searching around, unable to find anything, you do notice that the eyes of the creature look strange.
Okay, so can I go in for a closer look? Emphasis on looking.
You can, yeah. Because you got such a high roll, you can. So you'll get. I'll say that it's a Numenera. Numenera. It's a intelligence 3, and you have an asset because you're looking at it. Like, you know what you're looking for.
So I apologize for making you worry.
While he's apologizing over what is clearly just a great decorated tunnel, you notice that the eyes themselves are slightly bigger than what you would imagine they would be on this. Like, it doesn't match the size of the creature's body. And as you look very closely, like getting right in there, you can actually see that there is like a ring around the eyes, almost as if these two things, like the table that you were so fond of, could be depressed.
Okay, I've learned my lesson with touching buttons. So I'm gonna actually run this one past the group this time. Guys, I think these are buttons. Whether or not they are pressed for safety or pressed for not, I would assume pressed for safety. Because otherwise you wouldn't notice them, so you wouldn't know to press them. This is probably like the safety on not that I would know what a gun is, but it's probably, this is how you would disarm any trap that may be here.
Are we locked in this room, or is there...
Nope.
We can keep going forward if we wanted to?
You can keep going forward, yeah.
I'm looking down the hallway, and do I sense whether it's there or if it's to the left? The using my macro sense, right?
You sense that it is further down.
For like below it, like down the hallway, or
nope,
below
down.
us? Okay,
below.
So.
But you said that in the tunnel it slopes down, so this is the way to get to down. So, Wyloch, I could be wrong, but I don't sense any traps or anything here. Silica sees a button. You're the device expert. What do you think?
All right, I'm gonna go out of phase and see if I can. I'm gonna detune from the distance and see what's going on in this hallway. If there's anything unique, sensing magic.
Okay. You sense some kind of Numenera from behind this wall.
The wall with the one with the eyes.
Hmm?
Okay. Nothing about the eyes themselves.
Nope.
Okay. I stroll on up And I slowly kind of like start to do this. And I turn to Zeref and say, a life without passion is no life at all, my friend. And I push them.
And as you push them, you all hear as the wall next to you slides out, blocking your passage deeper in, but revealing a section of the wall that you guys can enter inside of, leading you to another smooth metallic room.
Well, I go check it out.
As you go check it out, you see that there is a strange, like humming noise. And in the corner, with whatever light source you have, I assume you have a glow globe out, you can see that there is this weird, like, husk, like, of rags and just, like, a pile, and it's kind of, like, throbbing in the corner, like a mold almost kind of built up among the wall and, like, into the crevice where the walls meet. And it's kind of this just, like, pulsating mass of organic tissue. And you continue to hear this like a weird droning buzz. And as you begin to cast your eyes around the room, they fall upon a creature.
Of course.
Man-sized, six-legged, two-eyed, flat, stony head with buzzing wings. And protruding from its lower abdomen, you see a large, stinging barb. What do you do?
Is it like, hi, how you doing? Or, oh, look, dinner showed up early tonight.
I mean,
I think
what's
we've learned
the
that
difference?
trying to talk to the monsters is like not the best thing.
I mean, what's the difference? It's neither, actually. It just sort of it moves towards you. It doesn't. It's not suspended. It's on feet, like it's on the ground, right? And the wings just kind of vibrate. You seem to have alerted it when you opened the door, right? And it just sort of turns towards you, and it hasn't done anything yet.
I want to try to talk to it.
You notice the longer that the door's open, the room kind of smells like sour.
And there's a growth in one of the corners of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, presumably maybe like a cocoon or an egg sac or something like that. Who knows what?
Presumably, yes.
Does slug consciousness have anything, any alert, any...
It does not. In fact, you've actually heard less and less from your slug consciousness at all the further you're away from the clutch you go.
Darn. Okay. Well, you know, I try.
You gotta hope.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to back up, see what this thing does.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of face did you say it's got?
It has like a flat, broad, stony-looking face, like that kind of texture, with two large eyes inset on it. Almost.
But
like
it's got like nose. It's got a mouth. You said
it's not like a human-looking face. It's more like insect-looking face.
It's like the human fly sort of thing.
Like the buttons you pressed.
Like the... Oh. Okay. I mean, I literally just pressed these buttons, so like I probably should be able to make some sort of...
Yeah, you just saw them.
connection.
Wyloch just pressed them. Yeah,
like,
so you guys, if you look in, are you looking in the room? So far, it's only Zariff.
Oh, what is this room shaped like? I mean, can I not see this from outside of the room?
There's a small door that has opened. Like basically, the wall has moved over.
Okay.
He stepped in where the wall was to make this to see it in this room. So yeah, you can easily walk over there and see the same thing. And if you do, you would kind of recognize more or less the vague shape of the creature that was in the bas relief.
I don't. So the problem is, if Zeref like has that freeze moment, I would probably recognize that body language, and I'm not going to go in there. So I'm staying out. But I can hear the humming.
Yeah, it's like a droning buzz.
So I would call to Zeref. I'd be like, "What is it?"
I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I take, step or two back, kind of allowing others to be able to see in the room. I'm not itching for a fight. So if this thing's not, not interested, I'm not gonna, let's kill it just for the sake of killing it.
I still have my fingers near the buttons, watching as Zeref is slowly backing up.
You do.
Okay, and if he's able to get all the way back to the threshold,
mm-hmm.
as soon as he does, I would push the two eyes buttons again.
and they depress, and nothing happens.
Great.
Why'd we do this?
I don't know. You're the one who pressed the buttons this time.
Because without passion, life is meaningless.
Oh, getting called out.
This is what regret feels like. Click, 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 click.
Okay.
So nothing happens. I open my cloak. I pull out my bag of dice, and I pull out the D8.
Mm-hmm.
And I chuck it in the room just so that it lands somewhere between the creature and the thing on the wall. See if its attention is drawn, if it's trying to gauge its intelligence.
Okay. So, Zariff, you're at the door, right? So you can kind of see what happens here. And almost like so for Ted's frame of reference, almost like a chameleon, one of the eyes cocks over to the side, and you can see like the facets shine in your glow globe as it tracks the thing that just fell, then it moves back to where it was.
So the chat is asking for us, for Silica to talk to it, and for one of us to lick the fuzzy wall.
I saw that. Pretty good stuff.
So I'm Zeref at this point. You're like, there is the insect creatures in there. It's not showing any aggression though.
Currently, it's just sort of standing there droning along.
So I go in, and
Can it be seen from the doorway without actually stepping in the room?
Yeah, I assumed you were at the doorway this whole time.
Okay,
right.
So I step back. You can see it without actually having to enter the room. That's my recommendation.
Okay. Hail and well met, friend. I say at it.
Pleasantly, of course.
I mean, what other way could I possibly say it?
Okay. Okay.
Hail and well met. I called it friend.
You did call it friend. You did call it friend. You see that its mandibles sort of... and you hear... of the droning wings, but it doesn't move towards you, and it doesn't appear to say anything.
Okay.
It also hasn't leapt to attack you.
I appreciate that.
And I had originally, there was something behind this wall. Am I still tuned in? Do I believe that the creature is it? Or
You believe that the organic mass in the corner is it.
Okay, is Numenera. Okay.
Or contains Numenera, or you're not entirely sure.
Something about that is what's got your senses in a buzz.
That's it, folks. That's the end of the stream.
Hey guys, it's been a great stream. Thanks so much for coming out.
The
Gotta kind of stop streaming.
yeah,
so.
the entire hallway collapses. Everyone dies. It's the weirdest thing. Turns out there was a pun mechanism built in as a trap, and that's all she wrote. Damn it! How do you do this?
This is a stretch probably for my character and for me, but I'm not sure how to word it, but like I'm basically half mechanical. I've got like a machine buzzing around in my head and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any way that I could like sense that this is like I want to get a sense if there's like a machine or something underneath this egg sac, or if the egg sac itself is Numenera? Like, is there a way that I could use my Wi-Fi echolocation to see if there's something out there?
Do you have an ability that lets you do that? To tap into?
No, not really. Just the
He's
going
hoping.
off the idea that I've got this like mechanical arm that I'm in tune with.
So you can roll me an intelligence 5 difficulty to see if you can figure that out. But you have so outside of your metal arm and the few mining devices you have, you don't really have a whole lot of experience in Numenera in general. And unfortunately, your arm doesn't allow you the ability to like talk to machines. So it's difficult. You can look at it and see if you can perceive something weird about this bioorganic mass. Oh, what do we have here?
Let me look this up for a second, because I think I can talk to machines.
Can you?
Arri just like levels up mid episode. He unlocks a special ability.
I know, right?
It's gonna take me a minute because I'm terrible.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So while he's doing that, what what can be seen in the room besides this giant creature and this fuzzy thing in the corner?
That appears to be it.
There's no.
The room is impeccably clean.
There's no further down. There's no whatever have you.
There is not. This appears to be just a square room, completely smooth.
All right. So let's.
Oh no!
Whoa! He really went out of phase.
Wyloch's like, gotta go to the ninth realm real quick. Just word.
Yep. So chat. The cameras are going to be messed up for a minute until he rejoins the call.
So why don't we step back, and once I can get the doorway clear, I want to like kind of gesture towards an open path to see if this creature wishes to leave.
Okay.
If it's not responding to words, perhaps it will respond to gestures.
Okay.
So like a deferring posture.
Yes, I'm like.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Arri, you cannot actually commune with machines until tier 2.
Oh. No. Okay.
Right? Tier 2 interface as your fuses flesh and steel.
Correct.
Yeah, directly plugged
That's
into a
what I was
device you can
thinking
identify it. Yeah, that's tier 2. So
since,
once you spend...
Since Mike doesn't like to give us XP enough to, get to tier
Listen,
2.
I could give them to you, but you guys roll all kinds of ones.
Hey, I'm almost there, so...
So once you spend 16 XP, you'll be tier 2. Essentially, that's how it works. So you step back and motion for it to come to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You see it, and it takes a step forward. Its mandibles chittering, like, and it approaches the doorway. And I would like to know which one amongst you has the lowest might pool.
Current pool?
Mm-hmm.
Like total or available?
Available.
My might is 11.
I'm
15.
21.
Cool. So it chitters and bzz out towards the doorway, where it sees all of you in the hall and begins to focus its chameleon-like eyes, its chameleon-like fly eyeballs, looking over, and you can see it casting both of its eyes in different directions, like Mad-Eye Moody, looking you over, and seemingly examining, if not analyzing you. But it has stepped one of its 6 legs out of the door.
So I kind of like huddle up, guys. And I'm like, we maybe interrupted something is what I'm thinking. Like
who knows
it
how long
was
that door
hiding
was
in there
closed?
to with its egg sac, and it's protecting it and it's waiting for it to grow, and we're trying to lure it out, and I don't know if it likes that.
I mean, last time we messed with a bunch of eggs, I got slugged. So I'd prefer that we didn't. I don't mean slug, just like, I mean, I did get beat up as well, but I also literally got a slug. So I agree with Arri. Like, I don't really want to mess with this situation. So huddling up seems like a good idea, but like, I don't want it to appear as if we were trying to make an act of aggression. It's more just like deference, staying out of its way. And also that door's been closed for who knows how long. Like, does it eat? I don't know. Is it immortal? Maybe.
Is it the god of all cockroaches? Probably. But
probably. Hey. Who'll know?
Zariff, real quick, roll me an intelligence. It's a difficulty 5, but I'll say that you have. Silica, did you point out the bas reliefs that were behind the massive statue of the queen?
Oh, the backgrounds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pointed out the backgrounds. That's how Wyloch knew to touch the eye, like he saw the eyeball.
She pointed everything out except for the coloration of the.
That didn't seem relevant.
It's a difficulty 5 intelligence. You have 2 assets.
Am I doing searching or just intelligence?
Just intelligence. This is a remembering game.
My slug just got a name, Mr. Pickles.
Done.
So,
I will never refer to it as such, but that's what you can call it.
Okay.
For sure. Mr. Pickles on her back. Good.
Yep.
Good. I like it. Hey, there he is. We're back.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Success. Okay. Cool. So you have a split-second realization right before something terrible happens. You have a split-second realization that based on the reading that you have done on the book that you received inside the strange hovel, combined with the bas-relief that you have been shown recently by Silica, that this creature could possibly be the necromancer or god of dead that is inferred in this in that book. And you make this realization as the GM gives you an XP for being sassy and 1 extra XP that you can give to someone else in the party as you feel pressure in your lower back as a large needle slides between your shoulder blades.
How lovely. So I will give it to Arri to help counterbalance his missed session last week.
Cool. So just as a reminder for us, Zariff, describe what you look like currently. Physically.
Currently, oh boy. So, you know, average height, wiry build, dresses in dark clothing. I would have guessed by now I don't need to be wearing a blue cloak and a black cloak. So the blue cloak that I got from up on the surface is stuffed into my bag. My regular black cloak, you know, up in total dungeon delving mode.
Mm-hmm.
But
what's your hair color?
His hair color is dark brown, but it's kept pretty darn short. You know, his skin is, you know, weathered and scarred.
So you feel this pierce in your back, almost directly into your spine, and your friends look on in horror as you make like a face, you know, getting stabbed in the back, you tend to make a face, and they watch as your skin lightens, looks more youthful, and your hair changes from a ruddy brown to a dirty blonde, and you take 8 points of might damage.
Lovely.
Where did the spike come from?
You all hear this sickening as you see, as you can kind of, now that you're paying attention, outside of, well, what happened, so, sorry, Bill, what happened was you guys huddled together and were discussing after luring the creature out of its den. You hear this sickening noise, and you no longer feel said pressure, Zariff, and you all see that the needle-pointed barb at the end of this thing's tail sort of slithers back up behind it and perches over its shoulder. It steps aside, and that's it, just steps back, kind of as if letting you into its room.
Ow! So, like, I don't know what everyone else does, but if I'm thinking this thing is the potential god of death, then it's just stabbed me. I don't know if I entirely understand any physiological changes, but in that instant of pain, you know, he's a creature of reaction. So, like, I've got a arrow, you know, that fast, you know, have drawn on my bow, and I'm like, it's pointed down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not drawn back and ready to fire, because the creature pulls back, and doesn't resume. Like you said, it's not in a attack posture. It's kind of like, all right, now what, right?
Yeah.
Are you Artori?
You say through gritted teeth.
Yeah, I'm in pain, and it's like, it's clearly coming across. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever taken a shot like that in anything that we've done. Like, you know, the fight against the spiders, it was a grueling battle, but it was like a slow progression of damage. This is most of my might pool in one go.
Yeah, this guy was not fucking around. It buzzes and you hear more chittering. Your best guess, based on the line of questions you have, this thing doesn't speak the truth.
It doesn't speak the
The
truth.
the truth
Oh.
is the native language of
Common,
Numenera.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that
Right.
Sorry.
for a second.
I saw everyone's face go down. I was like, I didn't explain that one.
We mentioned it before.
Yeah, it just never
I
comes
mean,
up.
To me, all that does is like start getting me into men of honor quotes. So
Yeah, it chitters. It doesn't seem to be offensive or defensive. It just has stung you and seems to be letting you go.
So I've experienced something similar to what Zeref just went through.
What?
With Devola and my spine slug, Mr. Pickles.
Mhm.
So I am wanting to check in on Zeref and just be like, are you okay? Because I mean, he seems to be okay. He's like taken up his defensive posture. I'm like, give me the rundown. Are you hearing voices? How do you feel? And I'm like, he doesn't know this yet, but I'm like, because you look different.
what?
I don't know. I probably have a mirror on my person because
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
Silica.
Like,
So
why not?
I have.
Why wouldn't you?
No, Silica's
Oh.
not vain.
Yeah, why wouldn't you have one?
So I maybe happen to have a little like pocket mirror, shiny piece of something. I can show him, like, you look different. How do you feel? Because again, like Insect Man, while I'm still having a hard time getting a read of whether he's actually aggressive, is at least backed off for a second. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
letting Zeref in on his condition.
So you for sure see the difference in your face.
Is it like just a skin color change, or is there a whole different face here now?
It's not a whole different
Like-
face. Like you just look slightly more youthful. It's as if someone took you out of the sun for a period of time and reversed your age by like a good 5 years. You look youthful. Like some of the cracks have filled in. You know, some of the age lines, crow's foot, have kind of filled in a little bit, and your hair has changed color from a ruddy brown to a dirty blonde.
What? I just don't understand.
I look at the wound on his back. Is it bleeding? Is it?
No, it is a small. Like you only look because you can kind of see the hole in the clothing. It is a very small, like maybe 10 gauge needle, like an epidural in the back.
Okay.
Not bleeding.
Is there
tiny hole?
is there a way we can communicate with you?
I look at Wyloch. Is there a way we can communicate with it?
Is there a way we can communicate with you? He says to Wyloch.
I look at what's happened to Zeref
Mhm.
and kind of have a small epiphany and say, I would know the origin of this creature. I reach into my cloak and I pull out my yester glass and I train it on the room so that I can see both this god of death thing and it's whatever is growing in the corner. And I want to see where'd either of them come from? What's the most significant thing that's happened?
Okay, so
Snap.
awesome use. So you sort of hold this thing up. I assume you kind of like step back in the hallway, and you can kind of see the hallway and into the room here. So you see what looks to be a very similar live procession of the bas relief. You see that there is people holding this ornate box, which you can easily identify now as an ornate casket of some kind, being hand carried by people wearing Silica. What are the colors of your nation?
They are red, purple, and gold.
Done. You see them wearing red, like red uniforms with purple accents trimmed in gold as they begin to, bring this down here. You see that the bas reliefs and paintings are fresh and new, and you see them bring the coffin to this creature, who looks very similar, if not identical, to the way it looks now. And you see that in the corner where the growing biomass is, it's actually not thrumming and pulsating. It's actually hardened into a cocoon-like state, and there's a crevice in the middle where it seems to have split open, almost as if it gave birth to this creature. And you see them position the coffin in a way, open it up, and you see, again, this same queen that is on the walls here. The creature moves out, buzzes, looks at everyone, looks down at the corpse, and its protrusion comes out and stings her in the chest before retracting and stepping back into its room. They then pick up the casket and they leave.
And I only get a minute, so that's a minute of activity.
So I'll say you can see all of this, and if you'd like, you can kind of reposition the Yesterglass to see, like, if you want to follow them, like a moving camera, you can follow them.
Oh, so you three are like by me, so that because we're all looking through it, right?
Mm-hmm, sure.
Okay. So, like, should we keep looking to see what happens in the room, or should we see where these people go? Would we see what this bug does to this corpse?
Oh no, it stings the corpse. So it stings the corpse and they take it. They take the corpse with them.
So yeah, we want to follow them, I think.
Question still stands. I don't know what in the past the cocoon thing was open.
Oh wait, is the cocoon thing there in the past? Can we see that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's there.
So what is a thrumming biomass of pulsating, organic tissue in the corner? In the past, it is hardened and cracked open, almost like a cocoon.
If we stay watching the creature, we could learn what's in store for Zeref if we take no other action for Zeref. Or we could try and learn where they go with the body.
Go with the body.
Okay. So Zeref sort of got my arm trying to train me, so I let that happen, and we follow where the procession is going.
Okay. So if you turn around back down the hallway, you see the procession is leaving towards the hole. Do you follow them?
Turn our back on this thing again.
Zeref. I feel like this is Zeref's call because.
Yeah, follow.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I follow, but keeping an eye on the insect creature because.
Silica, you notice that when you guys begin to step away, you're kind of over the shoulder the whole time. It steps back and recedes into its lair and doesn't come back out to chase you. The rest of you looking through the Yesterglass, you guys are looking through this thing. You're following it down the hallway. Not really caring about the noise you're making as you kind of like move rocks and debris aside. But you are following a procession back towards this massive tube that goes down, and you see that in the past there is more steps where you cannot follow, but you can kind of tilt it in a way, Wyloch, and you see that they continue down, and there appears to be another door beneath where you guys are. And in fact, you can kind of see the door now that you have the frame of reference where the door is through the Yesterglass. Once it powers down, you can see that like edge of a door.
How far down?
Your best guess from here, maybe about 70 feet.
I put on my wingsuit and jump. No,
Done.
I'm kidding.
Far Cry 5, the moment you touch anything, you just die.
All right, so is the glass still viewing, or are we at the end of my minute?
That's your minute.
Okay, so do I have to do
So basically, you're looking at them enter this other door, and as they enter the door, it shuts down, and you can kind of see the outline of that other door now.
So I got to do the depletion roll, right?
Yep. I think it's like 1d6, isn't it?
It is. All right, ready?
Yep.
No!
Wait. You can use XP to re-roll a die, right?
You can.
I have one. I think I should burn it. Do you guys think I should burn it?
This is your call. It's your thing.
It's an artifact. I think artifacts.
That's a really high level Numenera.
Yeah.
Could
Okay.
be so useful.
All right. Yeah, I sense it becoming unstable, and so I focus really hard and spend the XP and. Okay.
Not depleted. Yeah. So you see it ends, and you hear like a piece of the glass begins to shatter, and you focus your ability to transmit through objects into it, and you sort of see the filaments of the glass sort of fill back in that crack as you make that area, that like a temporal rift in that area, and sort of weld it back together. And okay. It works. It still seems to flutter back to life, albeit your minute is expended.
So you put your iPad. You put your iPad away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So you guys are looking down. It looks to be about 70 feet down. Yeah.
So let's see.
So many things to investigate.
Well, the necromancer creature isn't coming after us. doesn't appear, I mean, besides losing some significant might, hasn't really done anything like mortally wounding Zeref.
So he didn't answer me when I asked him, "Is there any way to communicate with you?"
He did not. Wyloch instead pulled out his toy and started doing iPad things.
And he responded in some way when I brought up the name Arri, but not in any way that I could understand. Correct?
That is correct.
Just want to know what's in that like bubbling mass of organic tissue.
Eggs, though.
I don't want to fight that creature. If I'm correct, if I'm correct, this creature is the journal that I found in the hovel referred to him as Artori, and the terms were, beast, god, something called a necromancer, but god of death. Now, if these beings, came and implored to this creature to sting their ruler, perhaps its effect brought it back to life. I mean, clearly, whatever it did to me hurt like hell. Is probably the most pain I've ever suffered in one thing.
But you look fantastic.
But if you like, my skin feels better than it's done in a long time. I don't know how to process this.
Let sleeping dogs lie and just continue following where the procession went.
Can we rope down to this other door, or is it at an angle?
No, it's down, just straight down. You can tie ropes together and get your way down there.
Sort of rappel down there.
Is there anything around us at the moment?
Around you, as in, there's a staircase that stops where you are.
I mean,
staircase.
Like, are we, like, how far down from the Sphere of Annihilation Bowl are we?
Less than 100 feet.
All right. In the chamber, in the hallway that we were just in, is it like a straight hallway that dead ends at this thing?
It dead ends now because the wall opened.
All right. Do you guys have a problem if we take a 10-minute here and then we rope down to that next location?
Not at all.
All right.
So Zariff, you take 10 and sort of, come to terms with your new body here. The rest of you, what are you doing? How are you solving this puzzle of depth?
I think I'm tying ropes together and maybe getting some I don't know if I have any. We'll just say maybe I do some like picks or something, and I can kind of chisel it into this wall.
Sure. Yeah.
So that we can, have like a safety net in case one of us falls or something.
Yep.
Yeah, we should have like spikes or something.
Yeah, and if you don't have pythons, I think Zariff probably has a handful.
I mean, I've got explorer's pack. I've got.
Yeah, I would say based on your background, you'd have at least a handful.
Yeah, I mean, I've got stuff here.
Yeah, that's kind of your jam, is delving into places. So I would assume you'd have some kind of spelunking tools to get you by, grappling hook, etc., etc. So yeah, you guys can bang in some pythons, tie off some rope. The trickiest part is combining ropes together, lengths of rope together. But collectively, between all of you, with Wyloch's knowledge and Zariff's ability to, spelunk in general, and Arri's skill at mundane tasks, I'm sure that all of you guys can make some rope tied together in like a nice box hitch and make your way down there.
I have proficiency in climbing, which to me, if you're gonna climb, you need to know ropes.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've got myself 100 feet of rope, so
Oh, okay. Then you don't even need to climb. You don't even need to tie anything together. There's 100 feet of rope right there. Boom.
Well,
Done.
sorry, I have 2 sets of 50 feet of
cool.
rope. So
Yeah. So together, it sounds like you all have enough skills combined. This is what you were sent here for, was your combined skills. So you're not gonna have to roll for this. You are able to take the time necessary in this 10-minute break to come up with a plan, combine those 2 pieces of rope to one, and knock down some pythons, and make some safety pythons as well, just to catch it if it falls, and you are easily able to descend down this 70 or so feet.
excellent.
Cool. As you do descend the 70 or so feet, you find that you are at the entrance to this hole. The hole is probably about 15 feet by 15 feet, and it is circular. You can see where there are places in the wall where these stairs would have led to. As you enter into this hole, you have about 10 feet of hallway in front of you and a massive metal blast door.
That needs to be lifted up from the bottom.
It rolls to the side, like Fallout style.
All right, I try to pull it open.
And I assist him.
Okay, both of
I'm
you.
looking for the access panel to enter 121-322.
Yep. Both of you begin to struggle in futility to open these blast doors, as Zariff rolls me a searching 3.
Hey, we're glaives. Like, we're action people.
You
okay?
are for sure action people. You
If
absolutely.
it's a door I can't kick down, I'm gonna slide it open.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I get it. I totally get it. I would do it too. So you guys are trying to find purchase and sort of slipping on this metal door, as Zariff, you can explain how this is done, but you do find an access panel with a button in it.
So like a singular button.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I
One.
guess
1 2 1 1 2 3 1. Like Morse code it.
Mhm.
I mean, so like, if I just hit the button, like, I mean, if it's not a panel, it's got a whole bunch of numbers. I would assume you just hit the button and it'll
Yep.
move.
So while they're struggling, you just sort of,
Doot.
and as they're like, the door rolls in, and the
I
two
high
of you.
five Arri because I think we did it.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Loosen it up for you.
Yeah.
They look
pusher.
back, and as I'm sitting there, and just
Close
casually
the
leaning
panel.
against the wall, pointing to the.
You close it. You're like, you guys did a great job. You see that
I roll
the
perception to see if I see Zeref do that. Difficulty 8.
difficulty 3. So the door opens up Fallout style, and you see another 10 feet in front of you and another door.
You guys want this one?
Yeah, we're going for it. Obviously.
Same door, same style door.
Same style
Okay.
door, just goes the opposite direction. You can tell by the scrape marks. So again, you struggle, and again, Zariff kind of. The door opens, and you guys are on a hot streak.
More high fives all around.
Uh,
So the first door is still open.
the first door is still open.
Okay.
So it was the same button that opened both doors?
No, there's another door at this access
Oh,
panel as well.
Another door, another button. Okay.
In fact, if you'd like, Zariff, give me another
Search?
searching. Yep, searching 3. Okay.
Same number.
So you see the first door, you found an access panel before it. You also find one after it, and then another one before the second door.
So I'll assume that the one after is the close, and there's lots of crappy stuff out there. So
So that one closes back up.
there. Now
Yeah,
we're
now-
still in.
And now I'm confused because I'm
So
like,
you
wait a
have
second.
you have
We didn't
opened.
close that.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So you have opened the first door, opened the second door, closed the first door, and 10 feet beyond the second door there is yet another door.
Do we really want to be stuck down here, guys?
How long does it take for
I do.
the thing to move?
Maybe like 15 seconds. And you're pretty sure after the first few seconds you can get by.
Yeah. Okay.
3 combat rounds. That's what?
That too.
You'll be fine, probably.
Maybe just shut that front one and leave the rest of them open. In case we need to run real fast.
There are reasons to have this many doors, just saying.
Well, what if there's a bunch of water on the other side and we flood ourselves because we don't keep the doors open?
Okay, we could play the what if game for a really long time. They're like all kinds of terrible situations. We're just giving the DM ideas. So I think we should probably just continue.
I was gonna leave it vague. I don't need to tell you how some of my fellow adventurers have died spelunking.
Okay. All right.
So the first door slammed shut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when that happened, I looked over my shoulder, and now I'm feeling a bit claustrophobic, so I'm kind of tweaking a little bit, but nothing else for the moment.
We've been underground for 2 days, and now you're going to get claustrophobic?
Well, it was a subterranean expanse. It was a metropolis. That's not tight quarters. This is tight quarters.
This is tight quarters. He has a point.
So did Artori. Right through my back.
So there is a third door in front of you.
I mean, we've come this far, people. Let us continue.
Yep.
There's a button. I push it.
Door opens. There is a fourth door in front of you.
I was going to see how long I could let them struggle.
So the oxygen runs out. I mean, you'll be fine. I mean, what? There is a fourth door in front of you as the third one slides open.
This is getting a little tedious.
Right?
I sense recursion. Do you mind if I try?
Go.
By all means.
All right. So I'm thinking that maybe something about the buttons. There something here. Maybe it's magic or numenerical, whatever. This might be an infinite loop or something. So if the button is not pushed, but we could get past the door, it wouldn't trigger the loop. So I'm going to use my walk through walls esoteric. You can slowly pass through physical barriers, 1 inch per round. Can't act or perceive anything until you pass entirely through.
Okay. You begin to slowly phase into this, and you all watch. And you continue watching. You continue watching until you no longer see Wyloch. Wyloch, you perceive nothing, and you continue moving. Continue moving. Continue moving. As these are about a foot thick. It takes you a good 12 minutes to make it all the way through, so the beginning part of your face is out. As you continue the rest of the way out of this thing. And you are in between this fourth door and another door.
You know what would have really sucked? If somebody pushed the button while he was in the door.
Just took it with it.
I mean, I assume we're just going to wait here until either Wyloch pops back in or opens it from that side.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen Zeref pushing the button, right? We know where the buttons are.
Yes.
Okay, I look for a like button for the other way on the fourth door.
Yep. So you want to press the opposite side of the fourth door. You slide the panel open. Click.
Yes.
Nothing happens.
Because that is the close button, not the open button.
Mm.
We have no way of knowing this because we're on the other side of the door.
So why on earth would the button only go one way?
It only so people came in and they could not go out. Basically, is logic dictating to me in my little silica brain.
So we're stuck here.
We closed the door behind us.
No, because
that's a theory.
Wyloch can go back out the first door and push the open button for us.
Arri is smarter than I am. Okay.
All right. So nothing happens with the button. Thank God I spent my XP to up my edge, so I can do this again. I can do this all day. I want to do the exact same thing and morph back through the wall.
Wait. Before you do, go look on the other side.
For maybe the doors.
No. So like you're standing there looking at the door, and we're on the other side of it.
Yes.
On the right-hand side, you saw a button that we imagine is closing. What about on the left? Maybe there's an open on the left and a close on the right.
You walk over there, and there is no button on the opposite side of the hallway.
All right.
Okay.
It was a theory. You're intelligent. I would have.
You could do that on your side
That's true.
for door number 3 or 2, whatever.
That's true. There appears to only be one button per side of door. There is one on this side of the door, another button, same thing on subsequent doors.
So I'm gonna morph back through the same door that I came through.
Okay. Another painstakingly long amount of time for all of you goes in awkward silence until you begin to see Wyloch's face begin to slowly peel through the door.
I start playing like the hand game with Arri, where like he puts his hands on top of mine and I try to slap him.
But one hand is always slightly faster than the other because it's metal.
Right, because he's got the mechanical hand too, and so it's like not fair.
But when he hits you, you're like, I don't want to play.
Yeah.
Ow.
I'm telling mom. Yeah, so
Isn't she mom?
yeah. So eventually,
We
Wyloch
can play
phases
with
back.
Wyloch's dice.
That's
Oh,
true.
wait.
Oh, he took him with him. And he threw the D8. He left the D8 in the bug room. So you eventually phase back through to the other side of door 4.
Well, it was good science. And then I saunter on over and hit the button to open door number 5.
Hit open door number 4.
Okay, 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one. Yeah.
Click. Nothing happens.
What?
Possible that we can only have so many doors open at once? Should we try to close the other doors that we've opened? We can just close door number 2,
Oh, do we need to
Wow,
close
theory.
the doors behind us before they open?
maybe. Well, no, not necessarily, because we have open. We at first were continuing to open doors.
2 and 3 are still open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw, you saw a door beyond.
Yep. A 5th one. Another one.
Hmm.
Tunnel, same as this.
But I'm assuming with how long you were gone, you didn't go and check further.
No, I did not attempt to open door number 5.
All right. All right. So let's close door number 2 and see if we can open door number 4.
Yeah.
I hit door 4's button 3 times, like click, click, click.
It clicks 3 times. It's a pleasant click, and you enjoy it.
Okay.
It does not
I
open.
love it. That was great.
You head back over. Click door number 2. Door number 2 closes.
Open door number 4.
Click. Nothing happens.
Close 3.
Close 3.
So you have opened door number 1, open door number 2, closed door number 1, opened door number 3, closed door number 2, and you are now trying to close door number 3 as well. You walk over to door number 3 and click. It closes.
So we are now stuck between 3 and 4. Does 4 open?
It does not.
Does 3 open?
It does.
All right.
I would like to.
Is this something to do with our numbers, maybe?
That's what I was going to suggest. So the numbers are 121, 322, 1124, 345.
5 probably being the last door to open. There are only 5 doors.
All right. So
I mean, Silica doesn't say anything.
So right now all the doors are closed, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, all the doors are closed. We'll say they are.
If I attempt to open door number 3, will it open?
Yep.
All right. We need to backtrack. Get all the way out.
Assuming we can, and then start over.
Yeah, so you can open door number 3, you get to the other side of it, you can close it. You can open door number 2, get the other side, close it. Same thing. And now you are standing outside in a 15-foot corridor with door number 1 closed in front of you.
All right. So the first part is 121. And then then it goes
Okay, so
3.
open 1, open 2, close 1, open 3, close
2,
2, then reopen
open
2, open 1,
close
close
1,
1, close 2,
open for
three should be still open. Open for close three
Close
behind
three.
us. Open for
Open
again. Open
close.
5.
Yes.
You guys successfully navigate this puzzle, and you have opened door 5.
Yay!
Yeah.
High again. High
High
fives
five,
all
teamwork.
around.
The highest of 5s happen.
Very much morale.
Good job
boost
not
for
making
us.
us go through that individually.
Yeah, no.
Holy
As
moly.
at the moment you guys had the puzzle figured out, like, I'm not gonna have you physically go through the whole motion. Cool. So you guys, boop boop boop, doors open and close, and finally door 5 rolls open, and door 4 is closed behind you. And you guys find yourself in a 15-foot expansive corridor that opens out into a large brick room. This room has brick walls, floor, ceiling. They seem to be some kind of ceramic tile that are covered in this like thin layer of grime and dust, probably age. Overall, the room itself appears to be relatively empty.
Does the ceramic tile match the tile from the previous corridor that we were in with the bug creature?
It does not. That was colorful tile, like decoration. This seems to be more of a practicality.
So, once we open door 5 and there's no more doors behind, what would we have done if we had not found this journal?
Trial and error for a lot longer.
I doubt even trial and error would give you that kind of combination.
Do you think a higher force is at play?
I don't know.
I scoff because I don't like fate and fate monsters and gods.
I'm just merely worried as to what other obstacles might be before us and the deviations from our path that could place us at our feet. Is it possible that we, in looking for those things that we need, will take more time than we have?
At that question, I'm sensing magic again. I'm trying to reattune and just refocus on the really strong beacon that was out there.
Okay. You feel that there is Numenera around you. If you'd like to roll a Numenera 5 check, you can do so.
All right.
There is enough around you in small spurts that it's getting difficult to pinpoint what might have been here. In fact, you might actually think that the sheer amount of Numenera... so you think that the sheer amount of Numenera around you might have been enough to have made that beacon, but you do sense that there is Numenera deeper within.
Okay. Not this one, sir.
While he's sensing, we rested for 10 minutes, on the floor above, or the floor 70 feet above. We climbed down. We went into this corridor of doors. At one point in time, we rested for like 24 minutes waiting for Wyloch to phase through a door twice, and then we went through the process of using this series of numbers to get through here. Ballpark, how much time has passed since I got stabbed by bug monster god of death?
Like an hour.
Do I feel any different?
Not in the least.
Um,
Spry, if anything.
Without trying to seem vain, I want to try and ask Silica for the mirror again, and look at myself, try to see if I can look at the puncture wound, see if there's anything to be worried about there. Zariff is if nothing, a little bit paranoid of things.
Sure, of course.
And
Sure, I say as I hand him the mirror. Sure, you're just paranoid.
Like a dog, he kind of has to see his tail. So you get an angle, or you prop the mirror up in a way that you can get a good enough over the back kind of angle. And what you can see, like I assume you kind of take off your cloak and your shirt, or lift it up at least to see, it appears to be just a small pinprick of a hole. You've gotten a needle before, like, you know, doctors or physicers use needles in some capacity. It seems just like a normal needle. There's no like red rings. There's no like spidering black veins. There's nothing you know, unnatural about it. It just looks to be like any regular you know, surgical or mechanical needle has been injected into your back.
No, you know, cluster of eggs growing. Nothing.
There's no cluster.
You know.
Nope. No slug forming. No. You're not growing a tail. You know, nothing crazy. You don't have a baby head appearing anywhere on your body.
That's something.
Yeah.
You got
That's
off
a
better
really
than I did.
specific thing to say that there's not.
Yes, but I don't know what he's done to me. I'm certain it's, you know, could go in many different ways, and I'm not going to give him ideas, but
yeah. Who's to say? Wyloch, if you're interested in seeing Zariff be slightly more paranoid than his normal state of paranoia, you can roll me. I'll say Numenera 5 to examine Zariff.
I am.
If you think you would, yeah. If you would like to, if you think you notice him being paranoid more than usual, and if you are curious, you may do so. If not, cool. Also fine.
Oh no, no. In the meta, I was just regarding that last thing you said was a really specific thing to not have. It's like
a baby growing out of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last creature you guys
doesn't
fought,
have a hot dog growing up.
Yeah. Well, the last creature you fought had a tail with a baby head on it. So.
I know, and it's like you didn't say that he doesn't have a Christmas tree on him either.
Yeah.
You specifically said. So
I mean, you don't know how the baby head got there. I'm just saying.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We've all
What's
seen.
this room look like again?
We've all seen Total Recall. So the corridor after the fifth door extends much the same in that this metal room, and then it extends out into a 15-foot wide ceramic tiled floor, wall, ceilings, straight forward. You can actually see that there are, if you're looking through the room with your glow globe held aloft, you can see that to the right there is a door, and to the left, like as it continues forward, there's like a left-hand door, and there's a right-hand like zigzagging hallway that leads further in.
So where do we want to head next?
Is there anything else in your journal that, I mean, I know that wasn't like the piece of paper was not in the journal, but was there anything else in there that would
the paper was in the journal.
It was in the journal. Okay.
But it wasn't like, it was like
attached.
a folded, it wasn't inserted. It was just placed between the pages.
Okay.
But the journal initially started off as a story between Evander and Jared. And they were spouse, lovers. I'm not certain, to what extent, but there was, a great deal of love between them. At some point in time, one of them died, and it went from, a story about both of them to one looking for an ancient tomb that lies beneath on an island that does not exist, searching for the Queen's Pit that can revive the love. And they were looking for this Arturi, necromancer, god of death, what have you. That's basically the gist of what I got in the amount of time that I read.
Queen's Pin.
But what was that?
Queen's Pin?
Pit.
Oh, Pit. Okay.
Queen's Pit, Queen's Tomb. Kind of went back and forth on the name.
Well, I think we found that and the necromancer. So now we're in uncharted territory. Why would they have continued coming down here as a means of escape from the metropolis?
They did also bring the casket with them.
Well, I didn't realize that those things were related.
The people in the vision you saw, the people with the casket. Right.
They brought
so
that
if
down
you're
there.
assuming this is if you're assuming this is the Queen's Pit, that would likely be the Queen.
Right, absolutely.
And they brought her down here, wherever this is.
I was just trying to see if there's any connection between his story,
right,
and like if there was any extra direction, because now we have this choice between this door and this zigzagging hallway. Last time I opened a door, things didn't go well. So
Every time you open it.
Okay, that's true.
It would seem that the hallway is a more likely place for a procession to go with a casket.
That is true.
But we might as well open the door here. If that just terminates into a coat closet, then at least we've checked it out.
I open the door.
So I am going to allow Zariff, because of who you are, to roll me a difficulty 5 searching check before anyone steps in this room. Because I'm a nice guy.
Is this a GM intrusion?
It's not.
Okay, just making sure. Don't
He's
want
actually-
anybody getting gypped on XP.
I'm actually being nice.
What? Lies.
So
Dang.
Yeah.
this room, like I said, has a thin layer of filth on the ground, but you notice that like all of your dungeon delving senses kick in, and that this wide open room that was guarded by several doors is too wide open to not be trapped. You don't know where they are, if there are traps, but you are incredibly suspicious of the fact that this is just a wide open room with two obvious places on the opposite side of the room that you must cross for you to be like, yeah, let's just walk across this. So that's what you get with that.
All right, so Arri goes to step out and open the door, and I just kind of, put my arm out. I'm nowhere near as strong as he is. If he wants to barrel through me and go in there, by all means. But I'm attempting to stop you.
Yeah, no, I stop. I take the hint.
All right, so I will, try to see if I can figure out, what here we should avoid. What issues, basically I'm going to try and find out what the trap is and where it is and how to avoid it.
Okay.
Can we assist him by helping look around to see if there's anything out of place?
Yeah, so I'll give you 2 free assets for your allies looking around. If you say, hey, there's probably traps in here, right? So roll me searching, difficulty 5. You have your normal searching assets, and then 2 assets for your allies. So essentially, it's a difficulty 1. There should be no way you fail this.
No, I'm just kidding.
I explode a beam of light. So you notice that there are holes in the walls. First off, you also notice that there is like the layer of film on the ground. As you're looking at it, it looks pretty consistent almost everywhere. There are 2 places in which you see that it indents just a slight amount. And you believe that there could be both pit traps and arrow traps here of the more mundane variety.
All right. Are there any stones or pebbles from the hallway?
Sure.
So I'll grab a handful and I'll just start, scattering them across the tile floors.
Yeah.
I'm ducked down, assuming he told us about the arrow traps.
Yeah. So you.
Well, they're gonna fire this way, right?
Yep.
Like they're not coming straight.
No,
They're
they're coming in the center. Yeah. So the walls are here. You guys are facing this way. The arrows come across.
Okay, as long as we're
crossfire.
not. I just don't want to be in the line of
For
fire.
sure. Yeah. You're fine.
Yes.
You're fine.
I'm gonna toss the stuff and put myself against the wall and have you guys take the arrows.
So you grab whatever debris you can find and kind of toss it in. You don't hear any mechanisms trigger, whether that's because that wasn't enough pressure or because they're old. You're not entirely sure, but the rocks you kind of scatter don't appear to have any effect on these traps.
Lovely.
After you, Zeref. I'm
You-
basically suggesting that he triggers the traps on purpose, like with his fire.
Yeah. I got
So-
it.
You get the trap now. So like if the rocks didn't do it, you can probably disarm it or set it off in such a way that it's not actually going to do anybody any harm.
So for your very tiny crit there, I will say that you're fairly confident that if you crawl through the grime, you will trigger the traps for sure, but they will be high enough in which they will not hit you. That
unless unless of course it's the pit traps.
Right, that accounts for the arrow traps, not quite the pit traps.
What's on the other side?
On the other side, so basically, here's where you guys are. On the other side is one side there's a door, and the other side that's the hallway. You have to cross this room to get to one of those two things.
Is there anything solid over there?
Like objects or the wall? The wall is solid.
What's the wall made of?
It seems to be the same ceramic tiles as everything is.
Arri, you have a hammer, right?
Yep.
Can I borrow it a moment?
Ooh, it's my favorite hammer. What are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna bend out some of the flares on my arrow.
Okay, yeah, sure. That sounds good.
So the arrowhead is a is a point. I want to take the pieces and bend them out a little bit and try to see if I can put it through either the tiles or the door and see if it'll catch. So I want to tie a rope to an arrow, fire it across there to kind of act as a little mini grappling hook, so that if I want, if it will hold and I start to fall, I've got the arrow I got the line to hold me.
For sure. Okay, do you want to shoot the hallway or the door? They are separated by about 5 feet, so one or the other.
I think the door is going to be more solid than the ceramic.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of grab your arrow back, fire it through. I assume this is a technique you have practiced in the past, and you are able to sink that arrow into this wooden door.
Nice.
And you may get across however you deem necessary.
So now that I've got the rope, I don't know what kind of pitfalls are going to be below, but I will use that, that hand over hand crawl, holding on to the rope so that if the floor disappears below me, like the only thing that can fall is down from my waist because I'm holding onto the rope.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep. I would love to use a GM intrusion right here. Just send one of those arrows to cut that rope right in half, but I'm going to be nice today. So you begin to hand over hand and crawl across the floor, leaving a snail trail of, the slime or the grime on the ground gone. And you make it about 15 feet into this room. 20 feet into this room before you feel the ground begin to shift and move beneath you. You can make a speed difficulty 5 test, 1 asset for the rope, 1 asset because you are prone and fully expecting this.
All right, so I'm making a speed defense?
Yep. Speed defense, difficulty 5 with 2 assets.
Do we see him shifting? Are we?
Yeah, you see as you're watching him, he like slows down at a part, and like in a calculatory manner. Great.
No. You're all kinds of great, but I'm going to use an XP and re-roll
another nat 1.
It can absolutely happen. The dice gods will do what they want, but I'm wearing this awesome necklace today, and I started off with 2 little crits. I'm gonna keep up the good luck, and of course not.
Okay, so you
why, dice gods, why?
So the floor begins to crumble, and yes, Silica, you do see the floor begin to shake and him slow down and kind of look to make sure he can find a way. So fortunately, you are holding onto the rope, Zariff. You are not able to dodge out of the way. You do slam into the side as the ground collapses beneath you. You are able to hold onto the rope just enough so that you do not plunge into the iron spikes 30 feet down. You do plunge about 25 feet down and are dangling right above these iron spikes. You notice that there are chunks of people down here. Perhaps they are people once like yourself, dungeon delvers, hell-bent on finding the Queen's tomb. you find that there are skulls, pieces of bodies impaled on this, and you see that there is a strange. One of them has armor, like faded armor. The only thing in here that you see is fairly nice. Is you see that there is a strange helmet in the middle of this room.
Yeah. Greed. Greed is something that Zariff is used to. So he will actually climb down and attempt to
Seriously?
retrieve.
Right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that's the
Zombies.
person who presses buttons. So
So you begin to walk in between these iron spikes, passing over and stepping on the dried bones of the skeletons, and you make your way over to the skeleton atop which sits this strange helmet. You pick it up, I assume. You pick it up?
Yep.
It is a smooth, lightweight helmet made of some kind of synth steel, which is a thing you've seen before. And there is an octagonal-shaped device in the back of which. It looks pretty nice.
So I kind of, gingerly, kind of pick it up. It's an octagonal device in the back, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like buttons? Is it like an interface?
No, it just seems to be an octagonal, like almost like think of the ghost trap from Ghostbusters, right? But an octagon affixed to the back of this thing. It has that like star-shaped chamber, like it sort of like spirals open, like Will Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah. But it does not. There's no buttons. There's no access panels. No lever to make this thing open. It just appears to be on there. But it's very lightweight. It's very form-fitting and synth steel, so it's sturdy.
All right, so I will put it in the satchel. I'm not so foolish to just go putting it on my head without knowing what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I will, I will call out to my companions. I'm okay. I'll be up in a minute. Make sure they know I'm not dead down here.
Sure. They can hear you echoing from above.
And I will take.
He's fine.
And then I will take another minute or so, making sure there's not any other lost treasures down here.
Roll me a difficulty 4 searching check. You find that there are about 20 shins scattered amongst the floor and in pockets and pouches of the fallen adventurers that have died to my many traps beforehand.
That's like 4 glasses of tea.
Mm-hmm. At least.
Good. Next round's on him.
And you are you are easily able to climb back out of this pit with the aid of your sweet repelling device. No roll needed for that. You're trained in climbing. You have an asset. There's no way you.
Cool.
You can easily
for the pitfall, but the arrow situation didn't go off.
Oh yeah, you saw them. You saw them switching back and forth, right? But he was so low that none of them hit him.
So those did go off.
They did go off, yeah. But his
a pit trap plus arrows at the same time.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
you understand the arrows kill you. The pit disposes the bodies.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go.
I don't dive down into deep dark places. This is all new and grotesque.
I mean,
Silica. Well, that's exactly what I do.
Silica, if you were a queen, right, and you had a tomb, you'd put rad shit in there, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Would you want anyone to take your rad shit?
No, it's true.
See,
it's like
even
having
in
a secret
death,
bookshelf that opens up.
Yeah.
No,
even in death, you'd want your dope shit.
Yeah.
A room full of teacups,
Heck yeah.
etc. The etc. room. So you are easily able to climb back out of this pit, Zariff, and begin making your way past this pitfall trap. And the moment you are off of this trap, you see it, and it snaps back into place. You are able to proceed to the door, and you are as safe as you can be.
All right, so I'm going to take one of my remaining pittons or a dagger or what have you, and I'm going to chuck the end of the rope back across the floor. Next.
Yep. So because you have solved this puzzle, you guys are easily able to grab the rope. You know where the pitfall trap is. Even if you fall into the pitfall trap, you have the rope. You have Zariff there to catch you and help. So some of you, I'm sure, collapse the trap and are swinging there and then climb back up. But the precautions have been taken by an expert dungeon delver. So none of you fall to your doom. As you make it to the opposite side of the room. Now, on the opposite side of the room, there is about 5 feet, as far as you can tell, Zariff, to where the traps are. So there's 5 feet. There's 5 feet of space that you can walk back and forth from the door to the zigzaggy hallway without triggering a trap. At least, so you hope. It appears to be like the pitfall is the last of the traps.
Okay.
So do you guys want to go towards the door or to the hallway?
I think we're going to the door.
Sounded like Arri wants to bash in a door.
I would like to open a door.
Do you open a door or do you Arri the door open?
I need a definition of what Arri the door open means.
I mean, you do have you are trained in smashing mundane objects.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm gonna try and open it first, see if it's locked.
okay. As you begin to open this door, it is unlocked. Creaks right open, and before you,
I WD-40 the hinges.
you do, yeah. It's actually in a compartment. It's actually one of your Numenera devices. You just pull it out and spray it in there. You never know when you need it. Oil can. This room has ceramic tile floors as well, and it has plaster brick walls. The room is largely undecorated. There is a storage cabinet set into one of the corners, and a large table in the middle of the room. And on the southern wall, there is a large stone door that is carved with the likeness of the queen's visage.
That's interesting. I want to go and look without touching. Look with my eyeballs, not my hands. I feel like we've gotten past like the hard trap part, so I just go for it.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, I'm confident in that.
So you
I
stride right over to the queen's door. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you look at this queen's door. She is standing in much sharper detail because it seems this is less exposed to any elements. You see that she is standing in the same regalia. Roll me a intelligence difficulty 5. I'll give you 1 asset because you have seen this before.
Okay. Whoops, wrong thing. Asset. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Right there.
Yeah, nice.
Sorry.
Okay.
Victory laugh.
Nice.
Okay. You see in her regalia the same flecks of painted red, purple, and gold. And now it is at this time in much more stark relief that you see that your house symbol is on her cape.
Absolutely, the symbol of the rose.
Worn like the Medici over her shoulder.
Okay.
There's a table in the middle of the room.
There is, and a storage container in the corner.
I'm thinking this might be like the final embalming room or something, which makes me very curious for science. So I want to go look in the cabinet.
Okay. The cabinet holds tools and chemicals used for embalming.
Wow. Good call.
I take, is there a flask of fluid or something?
There are a few flasks of fluid. A lot of them have dried and are caked to the walls. Are caked to the walls of the flasks. Several more are empty. The tools are meticulously cleaned, but you are able to find 1 flask of some kind of brackish yellow liquid. You're not entirely sure what it is without popping that bad boy.
I'm confident it's flammable.
What's that?
But
you're fairly confident it could be flammable. Yeah.
I take it.
Sure.
Given Ari's previous request this session, I'm going to take several of the empty vials.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. They are all glass vials, so they are prone to GM intrusion. And yeah, you guys have this supposed final embalming chamber and the queen's door sitting in front of you.
I feel like at this point, I should probably tell them, hey guys,
Yeah.
she's wearing my house symbol.
Dun dun dun.
The symbol of the rose.
Like not just your colors, but your house.
Yeah.
Where are you from again?
My history lessons didn't cover this. I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time explaining where I'm from. I traveled a lot. We have many houses so it's like answering the question where I'm from is kind of difficult.
So
because my dad, my father is a politician. He is part of the king's senate and is under his council. So I don't even know how to answer that question.
So what?
So this
what
is family.
What is the relevance? What is the relevance here? And is this coincidence? Or is there something else going on?
Your guess is as good as mine. Without going through this door, I don't know if we'll ever find out what it's all about.
So your family sigil is this rose.
Yes.
Is it exact? Like, are you wearing anything with a sigil on it? And where?
Yeah, I do. I have a rose hairpiece that is the nine petaled rose. So.
And like, is it exactly stylized?
Yeah, I can show you. Like, yeah, it's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
There's sorcery about this place, which means that your blood could be useful.
I don't like how he said that. I see that like Wyloch's usual like craziness is like amped up a little bit when he says that, like, and he's looking at all these vials and these tools for embalming.
We're standing here in a room full of, weird chemicals and tools, and he wants your blood. What's the problem?
I don't want her blood. I'm just saying, if it's a familial tomb and it's somehow tied to her bloodline.
All right. So is there a way to open this door?
Yeah, there's a handle on it.
Okay.
Yeah, you just open the door. It's a regular door.
Just a regular door. It doesn't appear to need blood.
It doesn't
or
appear
any
to
sort
need
of
blood.
sacrifice.
It doesn't appear to need blood.
Darn.
Okay.
All right.
So do you open the door?
Are we ready to move forward, friends?
Why not?
Hi.
I look at Arri because like I feel the closest to him at this moment. Like, do you have my back, bro?
I'm right behind you. Got my hammer ready.
All right. I like that. I like that he's at the ready. So I go to open the door to presumably the queen.
Do you wish me to go first?
Did we lose her?
Oh, we lost her.
No.
She's got a funny face though.
Hopefully she will unfreeze.
Oh, you're back.
Hey, you unfroze.
I was like at that pivotal moment.
So, I see a little bit of the uncertainty in your face about like, oh no, I need reassurance from Arri, and like, I'll still go first, and I'll still search for traps and what have you.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So,
are you entering the room?
Well, I'll take a look at the doors or anything,
No, the door seems fairly mundane. Nothing past the trap room seems to be trapped thus far. Everything seems fairly...
Open it and move forward and, continue as I'm in dungeon mode here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you open the door and there's no creak, it just sort of slides across the ceramic tile floor, this large stone door. And within the room, you see that there is more ceramic tile. The walls are decorated in painted bas-reliefs as previously seen in the upper area, aka the memorial. You also see standing before you a white marble sarcophagus upon which is an ornate depiction of a female dressed in regalia in a death pose, laying peacefully atop which. There are broken vases here, open chests. It looks like someone else has been in this room before.
Can I get a gathering of how long ago?
There is as thick a layer of dust as was in the trap room. So you would, you could guess probably years ago.
Would I surmise the same number of years as the hovel?
The math would check out, yes.
So it's just the sarcophagus, is it all that's here?
Yeah, then it's like the broken vases and all that kind of thing. There's a few like wooden chests covered in like silver and gold, but those seem to be open and their contents are empty.
Anything going on with my spider sense?
No, actually.
Okay, so no, as in it's not flooded anymore, and maybe I could see that original beacon again. Or
no, as in there's been no change. So there's still a bunch of Numenera around you, but if you focus into this room, there is no Numenera in this room.
Okay.
Oh my. So do we open it? Do we see, or has this all been a chase for naught?
I want to inspect the sarcophagus.
Mm-hmm.
It is singular. So I want to inspect it. We've now seen several representations of this person. We saw the bas relief up by the necromancer. We saw a more detailed impression in the door. This sculpture, 3D as it seems to be, like 3D, like classical whatever time period. So I want to take a closer look and just see if there's any more historical pieces of information we can get from it. Especially now that it's like history, family, maybe there's more stuff here.
Sure, for sure.
Do we see any actual face structure resemblance between these depictions and Silica?
They are not that well defined. So like there's not like a solid bone structure. It's not like a photograph of a model, right? It's just sort of, a vague shape. It's not faceless. There are eyes in there, but there's only so much detail you can get into a door. It's not Michelangelo making this.
Got it.
So I mean, it's definitely a feminine face, and it matches the face structure vaguely of Silica, but then again, so would most feminine statues, right? There's no hard details. So you want to go look at the tomb itself.
Yes.
It will be a difficulty 5 check. I'll give you 1 asset for your previous 20 inspection of that door.
All right.
You look at the sarcophagus. There's no more historical relevance to this. It seems to be just ornately designed. The designs around the base of the sarcophagus are rather simple and appear to be like flowery and like as if she were laid to rest in a meadow, and the sarcophagus itself is the meadow. And then
that's nice.
Right, and then atop is the woman in full regalia, much as you've seen her before. However, her hands are crossed on her chest in a much more peaceful, repose.
Is there a name on it?
There is not. There is a scene that you could open, though.
You want me to open it?
Can I check for traps?
You can. Difficulty 5, intelligence, and you can use your searching.
I mean, because we saw this lady get stung
Mm-hmm.
in the glass.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna wake up.
Yes.
We just gotta knock on the door. She's gonna have all the answers, and everything's gonna be wonderful.
So
She'll
now
tell
you're
us where
saying
the sword is, and she'll tell us how to beat all the things.
Yeah.
now I don't get the same asset, even though she pointed things out before, right?
No, because she's looking at like from a familial perspective, like to see if any of the pieces of the artwork is historical to her relevance. But you rolled a 19 nonetheless. So you look around this thing. So first of all, you notice that there are in fact no traps on this. The thing you notice, whether you say it or not, is that though this looks identical to most of the impressions you've seen of the Queen, or at least you assume the one in the memorial is pretty faded, the symbol of the 9-petaled flower is not on this one.
So I will absolutely point that out. Not like, in any kind of condescending way, just like the marking that you were bringing up doesn't seem to be anywhere on the sarcophagus,
which is odd, I would think, because there is the flowery meadow and the fact that our sigil is the 9-petaled rose. Like, it should be on there somewhere. So I'm like, that doesn't seem right. That the tradition would dictate that it should be there somewhere.
Should.
I don't know what it means that it's not there.
Yeah. Don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident there's no traps that are gonna go off when we open this thing, but I'm a little leery about whether this thing is gonna stand up and have a conversation with us, given how things have been lately.
Well, I would normally not be a-okay with exhuming dead bodies and grave robbing and things that we are kind of getting ourselves into here, but I think our whole goal was to follow through with what we saw in the looking glass, and that's led us here. So
that is true.
I think we have to open it just to follow through with this arc of inquiry.
All right. With my search, could I determine how this thing opens?
Yeah, it's a stone slab on top of a coffin. You just gotta push it off in any direction.
Right.
I don't want to break it though, like break the lid. Is it possible to be gentle?
Yeah, you guys can get all hands on deck and sort of pick it up and adjust it off the side and lower it gently to the ground, as opposed to just throwing it off the top.
That's what we would like to do then, please.
Sure. You guys do. You get two on either side. You sort of manhandle this thing down, lower it down to the ground. And what you see before you in very similar red regalia with purple accents trimmed in gold is a very, very well-preserved feminine body in death's repose. But what you see looking up at you is not, in fact, the queen from the looking glass. It is, in fact, a very, very convincing facsimile to Silica. And that is where we end tonight's episode.
Oh, man. You're not a real person, are you, Silica? We found the real you.
Bum, bum, bum.
Clone time travel.
So, guys, that was episode 8, I believe. Cogs in the Machine. So let's go around, do our introductions, get your thoughts on this, and see who you guys want to give this XP to. So we'll start with our returning adventurer here, Arri, aka Jordan. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
My name is Jordan. You can find me here on YouTube, and Saturday mornings I'm on Twitch on Sir Lucian's channel, twitch.tv/SirLucian, and I host the Saturday morning D&D show. So if you want to have just like a talk show about D&D, you can come check us out Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific. I play Arri, and I had a great time. It's fun to be back. I'm sorry that I missed last week because it was a great episode, and this is equally fun episode. And what a great twist! Like, I love fun things like that, and I was not expecting that, so that was really great.
Nice. I like it. We'll go over to the Dead Queen herself. Kenny, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I don't even know who I am anymore. But I'm Kenny Hill. You can find me at twitch.tv/Kenny Hill, and also now some stuff on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. This episode is sending my mind through a loop. I imagine this is how Wyloch feels most of the time.
At all times.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wyloch, Bill, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I'm Bill. I'm on YouTube at Wyloch's Crafting Vids, where I show you how to make cheap, easy terrain for your tabletop games. Tonight was a lot of fun, more exploration. I'll do the boring mechanics spiel. So for anyone who's new to Numenera, I think this is a good example, because I didn't know for sure either. You really can do dungeon delving with this system, and it's really fun.
Yeah, it's as long as that's my take on DMing, is just go super narrative with it and let you guys kind of go freely and do whatever the hell you want. So that's how I spin most games. You can do anything with any system if you try hard enough. And let's go over to, last but not least, we'll go over to Ted. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode? Also, who are our sponsors tonight?
Absolutely. All right. So I am Ted of Nerdarchy, RPG-related content over on YouTube, as well as nerdarchy.com. I thought tonight's episode was awesome. I never know how much stuff, like, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to have this in case, they do this, or I'm going to make this and I'm going to throw it in wherever. So, like, this whole journal with the numbers, I thought that was a cool thing. I really liked getting to explore that. I want to know more about this Artori character, and I have no idea whether we'll ever see it again. Whatever it's done to me, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I thought tonight's episode was awesome. I thought as Wyloch said, the exploration factor of it was just fantastic. Our sponsors returning, we've got Dungeon Painter Studios, pyromancers.com. Awesome map making programs. If you want to make some custom maps for your game, go check them out. We also have Archania Workshop, and they have great 3D printed stuff, dungeon tiles, terrain, minis. Please support our sponsors.
Hell yeah. And as always, guys, I am Mike from My Gaming. You can find me here every Monday night, at least for the next 4 weeks. We do have a break on May 7th. I will be on a family vacation, and Jordan will be also on a vacation. So we will have a break there. I believe Cody and Dave and the Saber Dice crew are planning something for that. So stay tuned to the channel, stay tuned to the Twitter for that as well. And if you guys want to see more of me, check me out here on my YouTube or on my Twitch or anything on social media at Unmade Gaming. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. Oh, wait. Who gets the free XP? I forgot. So who among you do you decide gets the free XP for this week?
I want to vote for Wyloch because his excellent use of the looking glass and subsequent save of the looking glass was just like, that really got my heart pounding. So
I want to say Ted because I kind of directly got him stabbed in the back by a guy.
Oh, what? Just because it was a who has the lowest might, and you happened to disappear at just the right moment?
That was not a stunt. I know I do weird. That was not a stunt.
Right. I understand.
Oh man. Ted and Jordan, who do you want it to go to?
Yeah, I like Wyloch. I think, or I like giving it to Wyloch. I think a lot of the good things tonight, with the mirror, and then also phasing through the walls again and helping us realize how to solve that puzzle by phasing through the walls was good. So
I can't be greedy and vote for myself and cause a tie. So I will, as much as I want the XP, I will throw it to Wyloch as well.
Got it. So Wyloch, you get the bonus player XP today. And chat, this is your chance. In the comments down below, tell me who you think deserves the XP and why they deserve it. And tell all your friends to come watch the video and do the same. And with that, I'm gonna get the hell out of here, guys. Bye-bye.